Hey everybody, Adam Savage, and I am in the National Parks Museum Conservation Lab with Allison. Hello.
Hello.
You have some awesome craft projects going on here. Tell me what's happening.
So this is our go-to when we have a leather object that has bits of leather missing, or it actually can be used to recreate almost any material. I used it to recreate a book cloth last week.
Oh.
And it's just a way of capturing texture and then recreating it in kind of any color that you want to. So it's very, very useful.
Okay, now I'm really fascinated.
So what I have here is the sort of starting point is we would start out with a piece of leather and take a silicone mold of it or something else.
Oh, of course.
I don't know how well the camera will pick this up, but we've got a couple silicone molds, and this is one that is actually cloth. And so this is just a cotton muslin texture, and then these are a couple pulls off of that one. And I was just trying to do a dirty cloth texture.
Right. So this is a mold of a cloth texture.
Yes, exactly,
Oh, man.
exactly.
And I know that silicone can pick up absolutely microscopic levels of detail.
Yes, it does. It does very, very well. To get that one, I had to starch the bejesus out of the cloth so that the silicone wouldn't push too much in.
Oh, it didn't soak in. Gotcha.
I had a couple where it just welded to the cloth. So this is the first one that I've actually had successfully do that, but it's working really well, and it produces like a pretty fine. It's like a pretty fine weave, so it's a little hard to pick up on that one.
Oh, I totally can see it though. And this is what you would use for repairing a loss within like a deteriorated section.
Exactly, yeah. So I just tried to capture a whole bunch of textures, and we have a bunch of these around. One of our conservation technicians has a whole box of these. So any kind of grain of leather you wanted to try and match, we might already have something, or we can make something new.
And that's what each of these things are?
Exactly.
Oh my God.
And so that is actually a cast of, I was looking for a particular like sheen, and that is actually a cast of my cutting mat. And it actually works really well to match a leather. So this is a pull off of that one. And if you look really close, you can see the lines for the cutting mat in there.
Oh man, this is so awesome. And this is on your favorite material. No,
this is on my favorite paper.
Oh.
But you can put it on. So here's an example of one that is actually on a really, really thin spun polyester, and so you can see just how.
You can get a leather equivalent that is almost without thickness.
Exactly. And you can build up underneath it if you need to, but it makes it really, really versatile. And then this is a really big one that I have used, and it's actually a cast of a fake leather, but I didn't know what was in the fake leather, and so I had to make a cast of it so that I could make my own leather so that we know what's in it, so that we know that what we're putting on the object.
Right.
So a little bit cyclical, but this is a pull from that. And you can see you can do it in a whole bunch of different colors.
So I can see that because small amounts of chemicals can cause your discipline so much difficulty that you are suspicious of every chemical until you know what it's going on.
Exactly, yeah. Things get extensively tested. Even so, these acrylic paints are the ones that have been shown to be these golden acrylics are like the most light stable.
Oh, these are the main ones. I really like these.
Are they? Yeah, they're fantastic. And I have the fluid ones. I stole those ones from the objects lab because the heavier body ones are better for this kind of thing. So we can make some of these. You can put it on cloth. You can put it on this spun bond polyester, or you can put it on paper, which is the thing that I most commonly do. But before we get into making it, let's take a look at an example where we used it.
Absolutely.
Sure. So this is a ledger from Sitka, Alaska. It is late 19th century, pretty typical of ledgers from that time period. It's seen a lot of wear. When it came in, it had a lot of losses, and so we used this technique to match this. And this is actually the one where I cast my cutting mat to. So that's the one that matched the closest. I don't think the color on this one matches quite exactly, but this is actually sort of a scrap from that.
Right.
And so what you can see here, and you can see the difference in the sheen slightly, is that this is a new piece of leather here.
Right. Oh,
and then the original, so you can see the seam here, but because you can put it on such thin paper, you can really get a nice even joint with it. It's really satisfying. And then to make it even better,
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so originally for gold tooling, a lot of times this would be on a wheel, but you would heat that up and press it into the leather so you get a little bit of an indentation, and then you're also attaching the gold foil at the same time. We didn't actually use gold foil for this, but we were able to use a little bit of heat, press that into the surface, and then go in, and because there was an impression there, in paint with a mica pigment is actually what we use to get the gold color on there.
You have someone that cut this out with a jeweler saw.
Yes, we have a really magnificent conservation fellow, Daisy Greenwell, and you'll meet with her a little bit later, and she's going to demo her jeweler saw skills for you.
Dude.
Yeah.
So much. My eyes can't even resolve this at this point.
And she did it for it twice because she thought the first one wasn't good enough. That's why there's 2 cutouts there.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be into that kind of tedium, you're in for a penny, in for a pound. That is magnificent. It strikes me that these texture pads that you're using they're only partially about the physical texture, but they're a lot about how the light moves on the surface.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's any subtle difference, particularly when you're looking at a really flat surface.
Yeah.
Any subtle difference in the texture is going to just radically change the way the sheen bounces off. It's going to distract your eye a lot. So matching that is really key. And we can do things like add a matte medium or a gloss medium or add something over top to try and affect it after the fact
Right.
too. Yeah.
But it's always imperfect.
Yes.
When you're trying to match something, are there cases in which you might consider taking a silicone mold of part of an actual piece that you're trying to repair to apply that texture?
I would love, love, love to be able to do that. Every time I have tested it on leather that we have around, it leaves a dark spot on the leather, so we can't use it on objects. Or if we could come up with a barrier that you could use that you knew you'd
like
be
that
able
stuff
to.
for your hands or something like that.
Yeah,
then everything would leave. Oh, you're suspicious of all chemicals, so you don't want to put right.
We are so deeply suspicious, and so instead we're running around taking casts of our cutting mats to try and match something like this.
But that's what I really dig. It's not about it's not necessarily about the perfect material. It's really the light is even more important.
Yes, yeah.
What is this book, by the way?
So this is a record of, I think it's a record of a store in Sitka, Alaska.
Oh, it's the business ledger.
Yes, it's a business ledger.
Oh man.
And this one has had a little bit of a life, but you can see that most of them are in with the. It definitely seems to be an account of goods sold. This is, I think, 1880s for the most part, 1887 on this page.
So I believe that the mechanical pen nib was in full use, but I have a zillion little pens. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure I could write this small with any of them.
No.
That is insanity
I don't even know. I
to me.
don't know if I could write that small under a microscope. But if you can, you have a business labeling objects.
Wow.
For museums.
Yes. No, I know. That is so beautiful. Okay, so let's make some paper.
Okay, let's make it. So this is a pretty straightforward process. I tried to pick some bizarre colors for you so you can pick a color. Usually we'll put down 2 layers. So something like this has I started with sort of a redder color and then put the brown on the back because sometimes you get that icky brown color on a leather. But you can layer green on blue if you want, whatever you want to do.
I'm a fan of the Mars yellow. That's beautiful. Let's do the raw sienna and the Mars yellow.
And the Mars yellow, okay. And then you get to pick your poison for what you want to use for a mold. We got sort of like a heavier grain leather.
Oh, let's do the heavier grain leather.
Do that one. All right. Or we got this one too.
Okay, so I'd love to try this.
You try that one? Okay.
Yeah.
Brush for you.
Okay.
Brush for me. We're gonna go straight on. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a blue one, and I'm gonna use this one that's this is the paper textured mold, which I don't think we got you, but I think it's I'll try that one.
Actual paper texture.
And I usually just get like a little glob.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'd go bigger than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, get yourself like a little glob. And we'll probably just chuck these paintbrushes when we're done, so I wouldn't worry about it. And then you're just and you want to be a little bit careful you don't want the brush strokes in there. So you're going to wind up doing a couple layers of it. So you want to get it on there pretty thin. That looks really nice. I think I'm struggling with my paper texture here, but we'll see how it goes.
All right, so magically the blow dryer has compressed time.
So now we're just going to go ahead and add a second layer. And this one you can probably keep, actually, you know what, before we do this, let's pick our backing materials.
Oh, right.
Do you think you're going to want to put yours on paper? So this is my very favorite repair paper.
I love this.
Really
This is a great
paper.
idea. I'd love to put it on this.
Okay, fantastic. You use that one. I will use this, the Holotex here. All that matters is that it's bigger than this.
Gotcha.
And so we're just going to go ahead and add a second layer of paint to it. If you can get them open.
I love that we're doing craft here. It's so much fun. You look like you're working on a Muppet pelt.
I do look like I'm working on a mother belt. And you want to be a little bit careful about how hard you work it, because you don't want to peel the paint that's on there off. So your goal is to just sort of get it on the surface without peeling anything off. And then when you feel like you've got it on there, you're going to go ahead and smash it in, and you can kind of use your brush to sort of like pounce it like that, and you can use a little extra paint on there if you want to.
Right, because this stuff is porous. So it grabs.
Exactly. So if you're using a heavier paper, the process is maybe a little bit different, but for something like that where you have a really thin paper, or you're using this really thin spun bond polyester, this works great and gets a really good attachment.
Well, I mean, just the idea of being able to make leather stuff that is this thin is something I hadn't considered. Okay. So now time has passed with the help of the blow dryer. What is the next step?
We're just going to peel it off. And if we dried it out enough, hopefully it should come off of that. And you can see this one didn't go so well. I've got a lot of brush marks in mine, because you can get rid of that by sort of building it up. This one looks a lot nicer.
Oh my gosh. Allison. That's such a, like, oh my God. Wait, I got to get my flashlight out here. Look at that. That's insane to me. And especially that this is maybe the thickness of a piece of copy paper. Like,
yeah.
You know.
Less than, possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've had success doing just the paint layer. So without even using the paper, you can take the paint and just use that to fill like very small losses on something. Like if you have a surface, you just get that and you can just set it. And I think Daisy, our fellow, was talking about just setting it in place and using her hand to warm it in place on an object. So, you know, like just a really gentle attachment to fill some losses.
You know, it's so funny because texture pads were used for a long time in the special effects industry for skin textures and, you know, lizard textures. And I don't know exactly why, but in the past, like 10 or 15 years, everyone's mostly stopped using texture pads and they hand sculpt the texture in.
And that's a similar concept to this. I'm not familiar with it at all.
So with texture pads in film, you'd take a face and you'd get it to the exact form you wanted, and then you start taking in the texture pads, and you're blending, and you're bringing these textures, and they'd have different sizes for the pore structure of the animal or the beast or the person.
Yeah.
But again, mostly people have gone to more using brush strokes and technique to create those, and it's faster.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's amazing. Oh my God, dude. And right, so you choose the acrylic paint that is stable and light fast.
And we choose a support that paper is going to last for, oh gosh, hundreds of years. Wow. It's a great paper.
That is thrilling. Thank you so much for walking me through this. This
of course.
Is a phenomenal craft day.
And you're welcome to take your treasure with you.
Oh, I totally will take my treasure with me. I'm going to ask you to sign it. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Thank you so much for watching that video. If while watching any of my videos you like any of the t-shirts that you see me wearing, well, you can go buy them. And there's two places you can get them. First, you can go to tested-store.com, a web address that my crew laughs is one of the hardest things for me to remember in my whole brain. But now they've given me a second URL. You can now go to adamsavage.com and buy any of the t-shirts you see me wearing on this channel. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff there too. Thanks.